Three, two, one. And here we are. Thanks very much for joining us once again. Another great episode of The Scoop coming up live on Talkin Fight. Also available on a variety of different platforms, YouTube, Facebook, and our own channel, talkinfight.com. All right, you've had a great week for us, champ. What do you got tonight, Friday night, to wrap it all up?
All right, well, I've seen the most blatantly worst decision for the last this week in my ongoing series of robberies within the professional ranks. It's your boy, Bola, Raymond Olubuwale, and this is The Scoop. Today's episode is going to take a hard look at a fight between Manny Pacquiao and Tim Bradley 1. June 9th, 2012. Manny Pacquiao steps into the squared circle against Tim Bradley from Manny's WBO, World Boxing Organization, welterweight crown. Bradley had just won the WBO super lightweight crown 2 fights prior. So 140 is super lightweight, welterweight 147. He's also defended it 7 months prior to this against a notable Joel Casamayor via 8th round KO. Bradley's moving up in weight was one thing, but to immediately be going up against a heavy-handed, fast, tenacious juggernaut like Pacquiao? Wow, that left some questions. Now, a little background history is that in the amateurs, Tim Bradley fought at 156, then down 152. So he was the naturally bigger man than Pacquiao. When Pacquiao was, Bradley at this fight was 28. When Pacquiao was 28, he was fighting at 130. So, yeah, I can see why Bradley was on a trajectory going upwards to the heavier ranks just to be comfortable again. Is probably, I couldn't, I don't have to. This is why I'm a heavyweight. I don't have to lose weight. I eat on the scale. I love me. With that, he dropped 12 pounds, and he's already cricket weight, so that's a monolithic percentage of what he is.
Yeah.
That's a lot of weight. That's a lot of work, and that's a great deal of stress on the body. So I get it. Moving up in weight class. The only thing I question is you couldn't find somebody a little easier to break yourself into those ranks? I don't know. The first round begins with both athletes testing their foes. Tim Bradley was flicking the jab. He was a little busier, I thought, throwing, but completely ineffective. Flicking the jab, throwing the occasional right cross, didn't really do much. Unlike Pacquiao, who was doing a little bit more of the same, but his straight lefts were consistently landing on their mark. Mostly to the body, but nothing too crazy. It was pretty much an even round until the closing seconds, when all of a sudden Manny landed 3 of 4 straight crushing lefts, which tossed the scoring in his favor. On my scorecard, and Harold Lederman's scorecard, and the celebrity panel doing the color commentary, which consisted of the late great trainer Emanuel Stewart. Max Kellerman was too on that panel. The second round begins pretty much the same, but with a little bit higher pace. What was noticeable was the fact that even though both fighters were throwing their crosses at a bit higher rate, Manny's was still landing like there was some kind of radar. Manny was far stronger than Tim. When his left landed, you saw Tim falling backwards, falling off balance. Tim would touch Manny and nothing. He may have bruised his eyelash or two, but nothing worth writing home about. Partway through the second round, you see Tim taking a step back, and he actually looked like he rolled his ankle, his right ankle. That's going to play out more so in the rest of the fight. At least he's going to say it does. Round 3 was more the same. Bradley showing some great speed with his punches that were either just being blocked or not effectively slowing down Manny in any way, shape, or form. Manny, on the other hand, was just continuously landing with that straight left. Again, he had nothing, no defense, Tim seemed to be standing straight up, get clocked, continue to stand straight up, has the ability to slip, doesn't, stands straight up, eats a straight left, continues on. I'll give it to him. He has a very good chin. The sport is not about having a very good chin. It's about not being hit at all. More of the same came in the fourth round, except Manny catches Tim late in the round with a right hook that clearly hurt him. Manny goes and tries to finish Tim, and Tim just goes into a defensive mode with constant head movement, but no punches. So again, now you're seeing him moving his head. He wasn't doing that before, and it was more of a frantic, I would call it more show than anything else, because you don't make the huge movements and think that this is a sustainable tactic for any length of time. You can do that for a couple seconds, but you will gas out relatively quickly. So Tim goes up, Manny ties Tim up. Tim ties Manny up on the ropes. And this is when I knew that Tim was genuinely hurt, because the ref came to break the fight up, break them up. And Tim was holding onto the ropes, which is a clear-cut sign that he's actually hurt, and he's looking to buy some much-needed seconds to clear his head. More of the same for the next few rounds, pretty much. Both fighters pretty much follow the exact same game plan. Manny would pace himself for the earlier part of the round. The latter part of the round, he'd really pick it up and actually take it to Tim and win the round. His punch output would be on par, maybe a little less than Tim's in the earlier part of the round. By the latter part, he's blowing right by him and looks like he's trying to finish him. Tim would be throwing flicking jabs and was busier with them but nothing would land. Nothing of consequence or substance would land. Tim didn't use the opportunities where Manny was actually, I don't want to call him lollygagging. I think he was just conserving his energy so as he could steal the round. But in the beginning rounds, when Tim could be throwing and accumulating punches, he wasn't doing anything of the sort. He was keeping his distance. He was flicking the jab. He was busy that way, but nothing was consequential. Like it was just wasn't. So I saw that as a huge opportunity missed. In the 6th round, Tim was trapped in the corner but did nothing but turtled. Pacquiao just opened up on him like again in an attempt to actually finish him off. In the 7th round, Manny landed 27 punches partway through the round, almost at the end of the round, just to show you exactly the punch deficit. And this was consistent throughout the fight, where Manny, again, landed 27. Tim, at that point, had landed 8. He was equally as busy, if not more, but he wasn't landing anything. He wasn't doing anything. Howard Lederman had Manny winning every round going into the 10th round. I had the same. The guys doing the color commentary, Emmanuel Stewart, Max Kellerman, they thought that Manny was winning every round too, until the 10th. The 10th was an interesting round in just that I thought that Manny just didn't turn on, didn't step on the gas until it was a little bit too late. He was doing the exact same thing that he did during all the rest of the fight, pacing himself, whatnot. But then all of a sudden, instead of turning it on at a minute to go, he turned it on with like 30 seconds. And not even 30 seconds, something like 15 seconds left, and he turned it on. It wasn't anywhere remotely close to enough to get him to, for at least for me to give him the round. All the same, when you looked at the CompuBox numbers at the end of the 10th round, or in the 10th round, both fighters landed 14 punches, but Tim threw 10 more punches with 64 punches thrown. So I think he earned that round. Now for me, that's the only round he won, because the last 2 rounds was a whole lot more of the same. He just sat there and pretty much allowed Manny to do as he went. Whenever he would pick it up, it was his. And Manny won this fight. Now, with the conclusion of the 12th round, Max Kellerman thought that this was a one-sided shellacking. Emmanuel Stewart thought it was a one-sided shellacking. Howard Lederman had the scores the exact same as mine, with him winning 1 round. Tim winning 1 round. Okay? That was where things got ridiculous. Jerry Ross scored this fight 115, 113 for Pacquiao. For those not in the know, that means Pacquiao won 7 rounds, Bradley won 5. Everybody doing the color commentary and myself saw Tim Bradley winning 1 round. But okay, at least he saw Pacquiao winning the fight. CJ Ross saw the score being 115, 113, Tim Bradley. What fight, what venue, what planet was she on? Because that's not the fight that I saw. Nowhere remotely close. Dwayne Ford scored the fight 115, 113, again for Bradley. This is utterly insanity. This is utter insanity. I have no idea what fight they were watching. This was nothing short of a black eye on the sport of boxing. At the end of the day, I take this as an insult to the boxing fans in attendance and a crime to the sport herself. A more one-sided shellacking could not have existed. The power punches, okay. At the end of the contest, Manny threw 751 punches and landed 253, while Bradley threw 839 punches, but landed 159. The sport of boxing, for those at ringside, this is going directly to you, is about hitting and not being hit. Learn that, because at the end of the day, this was a sin. Full stop. Full stop. Zahir, no, it's not. It's not. This is not, that's not how boxing goes, man. Wow. What was more telling was the power punches in this contest, where Manny Pacquiao threw 493 power punches, but landed 190. Whereas Tim Bradley threw 390 power punches and landed 108. That speaks volumes. He impersonated an active boxer, throwing a whole whackload of punches that were in the air, hence why of his 839 punches thrown, only 159 actually connected. That's a whole whackload of wasted punches doing absolutely nothing. Right? That's not the sport. This was an absolute robbery. I couldn't be any more emphatic about the fact that it is what it is. Emmanuel Stewart sat there and said he was speechless, utterly speechless, and described himself as being dumbfounded. He could not understand this. He compared this scenario to the fight that he was in the corner of Leonard Hearns 2, and that level of robbery. After Leonard had been knocked down twice, yet still it gets counted as a draw. It has to stop. Something needs to be done. Now, what do you think, Talking Fights Nation? Did you see Bradley winning this fight, or winning more than 2 rounds even, or winning this fight? Please leave your comments in the comments below. I'm ready for a fight. Trust me. If you like this episode, smash the like and please subscribe. It's your boy, Bola, and that's the scoop.
Thanks very much. Very appreciate that. That's a great recap of probably a long forgotten fight, I'll bet. Talk about who ended up where, though. I mean, where did Bradley end up, or where did Pac-Man end up? At the end of the day, one's a senator, I believe, in the Filipino government.
Well, no, he's still fighting. He's still fighting. So
And he's still fighting. Yes, true.
Yeah, Pac-Man is still fighting. He's the very definition of a legend. 71 fights, I think, he's currently at. And you don't get those kind of careers anymore. And just an absolute gentleman. In the post-fight description or interview with Max Kellerman, Tim Bradley, I sort of felt bad for him because he was gracious in his win. He's not a bad guy. Truth be told, he did nothing wrong. Tim Bradley did nothing wrong. It's those parasites at ringside that did something wrong. And it was unfortunate because, like I said, Tim actually seems to be a good guy. I don't know him personally, but from what I see, he seems like a really good guy. And the crowd was on him. Like, he's the one who robbed Pacquiao. He didn't do anything. He came out. He fought the fight he could fight. He often complained about his right ankle hurting because he had rolled it in the second round. His corner kept telling him, "I don't care. Get out there and fight." Wow. He did the best he could, and maybe he did play a role. I didn't see it. He still seemed to have quite a bit of mobility, so I didn't see how that rolling of his ankle was anything called a hindrance. But so be it. Instead, he immediately, right there, said that, you know what, we'll have a rematch because he wanted to win definitively, and rightfully so. You know, that took stones, that took character. But as for the outcome of that fight, no, that was Pacquiao's, and he was just a stellar champion in accepting the nonsense that was handed to him. But that's me crying.
And that's the scoop. All right, fantastic.
Yeah. All right.
So we'll give you the weekend to gather up some more thoughts and some more ideas, some more stories, and come at us next week with hopefully more robberies.
Awesome.
Looking forward to it.
All right.
Thanks very much. As I said, have a good weekend. Thanks very much. Good viewership. And thanks very much to Zahir Rahim for sticking around, throwing in those comments, jabs. That's well timed. Good stuff. Thanks very much, Ray. Appreciate it. And we'll see you on Monday.
Cheers.
Thank you.